Good morning, friends. Mark Holmes here, of course, with my buddy Cowboy Joe B, as well as Joe Bear in the house. And as always, I want to thank you all for watching, commenting, subscribing, and being part of the Joe B Sports Group. Without you guys, as well as you ladies, you know that this literally does not work. So let's get open for business here. And let's wake up those football gods. Wake up, guys. We're going to be needing you guys. Boy, are we going to be needing you guys this year. All right, so if you are just waking up, we actually have some news. You know, I used to call this "Don't Sleep on the Dallas Cowboys" report because, you know, things could happen late in the evening, late at night, first thing in the morning. So you always wanted to be up to speed with everything that is the Dallas Cowboys. And as always, they don't disappoint because the Dallas Cowboys, you know, when the Cowboys signed Zeke Elliott to his big contract, and money seems to be the key to end of your woes, your ups, your downs, your highs, and your lows. Once you sign somebody to big money, that is constantly the focal point. We've heard about Zeke Elliott's contract. You don't pay a running back that kind of money and things. The Cowboys, you know, they made a mistake by paying Zeke Elliott. You pay a guy that kind of money, you can't do anything. You know, running backs, you know, you're just going to get screwed. In fact, yesterday, Bart Scott yesterday was talking about, come next year, you know, they're going to run Zeke Elliott in the ground this year, and then they're going to look for a pay cut next year. Well, I'm going to say it's the exact opposite because the Cowboys, who before yesterday basically had $6 million worth of cap space, now have restructured Zeke Elliott's contract. And let me clarify something here, because whenever Tony Romo would restructure his contract, what I would constantly get was bombarded with, Tony Romo, he's a team player. He gave money back to the team. He took a pay cut for the team. And it's like, hold your horses, understand what you're talking about. When they say they restructure a contract, the contract's top numbers don't change. They don't. What you're doing is basically you're converting some of the money into a signing bonus, which makes it guaranteed. And what you're doing then is however much money it is that you're taking from that year, you're converting that and saying this is signing bonus and reducing this year's number. Now, the amount of money that you take out of that contract is then divided up by the length of the contract. So Zeke Elliott's number, and let me go ahead and show you exactly what I'm talking about here. Zeke Elliott's number, change the camera here so you can see this. Zeke Elliott drops down to this year's cap number being $6.82 million, taking off $8.6 million of what would have been a salary. See, his salary, base salary right now is $1 million. The prorated bonus, that increases because that 8.6 is divided up by the years and added to each of the years. So they created 6.8, so might as well say $7 million of cap space. What does this do for the Dallas Cowboys? This currently gives them $12,250,000 of cap space. So if you are a layman on the outside looking at this, what does this mean? What does this mean is if you are Zeke Elliott, the Cowboys are believing in you at least this year and next year. Because if you take Zeke Elliott's, let's click on him real quick. Zeke Elliott's, without the ad, contract. Here we go. 2021, his contract number is $6.82 million, which is great. Gives us some flexibility if we want to sign somebody or want to trade somebody or somebody gets hurt and we need to sign somebody. It gives the Cowboys a little bit more money to play with, which is great. Problem is that number balloons to $18 million next year. Now, you could turn around and do the same thing and just kick the can down the road further and further, but at some point the bills come due. But if you're looking at this and saying, well, we can get out of this later on. You look at it from the standpoint of saying, of course, you're going to keep him for this year. If you keep him for next year, then the number drops down to $11 million. And that still sounds like a lot, but when you think of the salary cap this year being 185 and the ceiling being next year 209, the salary cap is going to balloon up tremendously from the end of next year to the following year because of the television contracts, because of the gaming money, because of the gate receipts and things, because of like the Raiders. Imagine how much a ticket's going to cost to go into the end zone suites with bottle service. Shit, $10,000 a person minimum, I'm sure. So for the Cowboys, they truly believe right now in Zeke Elliott and think that Zeke Elliott is going to get back to where he belongs. And so, it's amazing because back in March, before the 21st of March, I believe it was, we were actually watching to see if the Cowboys cut Zeke Elliott or Jalen Smith, because it's kind of like Cowboys can do this. They can save a whole bunch of money. Well, they didn't cut either of them. At the moment, Zeke Elliott looks to be back to where he was in form-wise. He's lost about 10 pounds. He's out there in 100-plus degree heat indices, working his ass off, wearing long-sleeve sweatshirts and stuff. He's lost 10 pounds. And losing 10 pounds when you have a body that's like that is not an easy thing to do. And he seems to be ready to tear it up. So for the Cowboys, now, the big question is this. Are the Cowboys thinking about making a move? Because, granted, $6 million wasn't much. They had, almost $6 million. Wasn't much. But 12.2, that's a bit more. It's conceivable that, they try and make a move here with the cuts that are about to come. Or we've seen a few teams starting to jockey and make a few trades. Could the Dallas Cowboys be thinking this, and this is why they made this move, just in case they came up with something that might be of interest to help the team? Because ultimately, here's the thing. At this point, they're buyers and they're sellers. If you're looking at your team and you're saying, this isn't the year, this is not the year, then you're a seller. You're going to try and get rid of some of those players that are, getting older, that have a high contract, but can still bring you something in value in return. Somebody younger or somebody, draft picks. You just want to start saying, we're already planning for next year and the year after. Me, I think the Eagles should be sellers. As much as the Eagles, and Philly 500 thinks they're going to go 2-0 in their first two games, although it's amazing that he didn't say 3-0 because he plays Cowboys, week 3, because he doesn't have quite that much confidence just yet. But if you're looking and saying that it's going to be a bad season, you want to get rid of some of those caps. And kind of the way that, we look at Jalen Smith's contract and see he's not really in the future plans, that you've got that high contract. If you've got somebody that wants to trade you, even if it's not a lot, getting rid of that contract will give you more flexibility in the future. You make that kind of move. And then there's buyers. Buyers are teams that think we're close. We have an opportunity to win our division and make some noise in the playoffs. If we get one or two more pieces to the puzzle, you say we should make those moves. If you're the Washington football team, you look and say, you know what, the Eagles and Giants are probably going to be trash. We know Dallas is going to be good, but we've got a really good defense that's young and all that. We've got some young offensive players. If we can find a quarterback, we should be buying that right now because, it's Ryan Fitzpatrick. We're not sure if he's even going to be our starter at this moment. That's a buyer. And if you're the Cowboys, you're you're in that buying mode too. You look at it and say, okay, Dak is back healthy. Zeke Elliott, we've got Zeke ready to rock and roll, but we don't know how many more years we're going to have with him. We got Tyron Smith back. Tyron Smith looks healthy right now, but how many more years do we have with him and Zach Martin and stuff? That the future is now. And this is where the Cowboys could say, if we get a piece or two that just take us to another level, maybe that will be the piece that tips the scale in us in a deep playoff run. And I'm not saying that they're going to do that, but this is a type of move that gets you the opportunity to do that if it becomes available. Sometimes those pieces are too expensive and you shy away from it. Sometimes you get those pieces, and as we found out about Roy Williams or Galloway. Galloway? Yeah, Galloway, when we traded with Seattle. God, is it? I'm getting so old and getting forgetful. But you know what I'm saying. We brought in some pieces that didn't pan out. But Cowboys could be in that position and look at this and say, maybe we need to go all in. To look at one final note before I get out of here, to look at the Cowboys at the way that they've done this offseason, because we have players that we've looked at and said, you know what, they're getting old and we need to cut them and get rid of them. You got to look at Tyron Smith, because Tyron Smith, they restructured his deal too, which basically makes it more cost prohibitive to get rid of them down the road. You don't normally restructure a guy that you're saying we're going to get rid of him. What that's saying is we believe in you and think that you're going to be here for a few more years, and that way we can absorb those hits. So don't look at Zeke Elliott going anywhere anytime soon. Don't look at Tyron Smith going anywhere soon. The Cowboys believe they are in great shape and will be for the next 2 years at least. So we'll see if there's anything else that happens with the Dallas Cowboys this morning. Like I said, tonight, 7:30, the Eagles play. We'll start our live stream there. Probably live stream the game for about an hour just to see what the Eagles do, see if they actually play Hurts and stuff, see if they actually look any better than the abomination that they were last week, the only team not to score any points last week. Any. Zero. Zilch. Nada. Nothing. Yeah. So we'll do that, and then we'll flow into our regular live stream at 9 o'clock. And as I always say, guys,
our coach here, as always, I want to thank you all for watching, commenting, subscribing, and being part of the Joe Boo Sports Report.
You did one hell of a job, and the only thing else I got to say is, how about them Cowboys?
I'll see you later.